So today we are here with a biology expert, Mete, and we're going to talk about the pyrimidine cytosine. So can you tell us about what that is?
Sure. So cytosine is an organic compound often studied in the scientific field of biology. This is because it's one of the four bases that make up DNA and RNA. DNA and RNA are one of the most basic foundations of biology. DNA is used to store genetic information in all multicellular life, and they are inside the nucleus of our cells. It forms a double helix shape, and the edges are formed by alternating sugar and phosphate molecules. These edges are then connected by nucleotides. Nucleotides are what store our genetic code. This is where cytosine steps in. Cytosine is responsible for the methylation in the DNA as it connects to guanine. Cytosine also plays a crucial role in the body by being one of the bases sent out of the nucleus with RNA. This is where it travels to the ribosome to make proteins. In layman's terms, cytosine is an essential part of DNA and RNA structures, creating genetic information and mediating the numerous diverse gene patterns in many different types of cells.
I know you mentioned guanine and cytosine. Can you tell me how they bond?
Yes, sure. Cytosine and guanine are bonded together through 3 hydrogen atoms to form an H bond. But cytosine itself is a bond, an organic compound, made up of 4 carbon atoms, 5 hydrogen atoms, 3 nitrogen atoms, and 1 oxygen atom. Cytosine has a benzene ring with 2 resonating double bonds. This means that the pi bonds in both of the double bonds resonate, or in other words, switch between one sigma bond to another. This causes the lone pairs of the atoms that make up the benzene ring to consistently change from one atom with no double bonds to the next atom with no double bonds, while the double bonds keep on resonating. Cytosine also includes 2 major detachments of its benzene ring. These include a double bonded oxygen with 2 sets of lone pairs, and a nitrogen offset, which includes 1 lone pair and 2 hydrogens. In the 3D model of cytosine, the lone pairs are represented by the red balls, hydrogen by the white balls, and the black connections represent carbon. The blue represents nitrogen, and the red represent oxygen. The bonds are where they intersect. And the double bonds are represented in gray. Now, as you see, the 2D drawing of it corresponds to the 3D. You have nitrogen here, the 2 H's, as well as the lone pair. You have the carbon, which is double bonded to a nitrogen with a lone pair, and bonded to another carbon with a single bond with hydrogen. And on this nitrogen here, it is bonded to a carbon that is double bonded to a oxygen with 2 double bonds that is, again, bonded to a nitrogen with 1 H bond and 1 lone pair. Now, it is bonded to a carbon that is bonded to a hydrogen and is double bonded to another carbon. This carbon has hydrogen and, again, bonds back to the nitrogen. Cytosine is also polar because of its unequal and non-symmetric distribution of lone pairs, as well as its varying array of electronegative atoms in unequal orientation. Cytosine's Vesper shape is planar.
So would you say that this compound is an important part of your field of science?
That would be an understatement, but yes.
What then is your stance on the capitalization of this compound in an ethical sense?
It is not used much on its own, other than random health supplements. However, cytarabine, a compound of cytosine arabinoside, is sold as a form of chemotherapy for acute leukemias and lymphomas, otherwise known as blood cancers and lymph node cancers. It is an anti-metabolite substance and hinders the function of DNA polymerase. When it enters the body, it becomes cytarabine 5 triphosphate, which is an active metabolite in DNA synthesis. This can stop the cell cycle in the cancerous cell and give doctors time to further treat the tumor, usually through surgery.
So, what conclusions have you come to?
Taking cytosine, specifically cytarabine, off the market would make treating certain cancers a lot more difficult to do. I think you could even say that it would be unethical to take it off the market. It saves many lives and makes cancer treatment less strenuous for the doctor and the patient. Thank you.
Thank you.